It's another weekday morning here at the Youth Source Center in South King County, and Kiana Davis is showing her class how to write a poem.
Okay, Desire, how would you describe yourself?
Unique.
That's 16-year-old Desire Lyons.
What I want you to do is I want you to pick 6 things that we talked about this morning that make you who you are.
Desire will put her name to the poem when it's done, but there are many authors to her story today. But first of all, about the name, Desire. She used to go by Desiree.
Until I got someone that told me one day that my name was so beautiful, and then I was like, oh, okay, and I started going by Desire.
Whatever she calls herself, she calls Stephen Dozer her mentor. And when a young person calls you her mentor,
you're the go-to guy. From day one when I met her, I walked away and I said, that's a special child, and she's fighting some challenges. She's standing up under a lot of pressure in the home.
A home life that some would say wasn't as supportive as it could have been, and there was some trouble with the law.
How I got in trouble was by engaging myself in a crowd that I normally didn't, getting caught up in the whole high school drama, and I was taking part in a altercation, in a fight, and so I was charged with the assault for.
And that brought Dawn Annini into her life. Dawn's another author in Desire's story.
I'm an educational employment specialist with juvenile court. I actually am housed out here at the Youth Source in Renton, which is part of a collaborative project with King County Education Employment Resources and juvenile court together.
Thanks.
Desire was referred to Dawn by her probation officer. The specific grant that makes this possible is aimed at youth like Desire. It's called South King County EET. Dawn is Desire's case manager.
She is a really likable girl.
Dawn says Desire is able to express herself far better than your typical 16-year-old. She says maybe that's because of the adversities Desire's been through, her home life, the assault charge.
At the same time, I think she's really a young woman that is kind of on the brink. She's starting to realize what she's capable of, and she's starting to see a future for herself that maybe a year ago she didn't know was there. And sometimes she's really excited about that, and she's going forward, 150%. And sometimes she gets scared, and she pulls back. So I see her as the kind of young person that we should really invest in, because she's so bright and so capable. And I don't see that she has had a lot of other people helping her to realize that about herself.
And finally, there's one last author in Desire's story, Anita Whitfield, the owner of this Renton consignment store.
They have a premium because they're older,
okay,
but it also means we have to take more time looking at the details.
Anita provided a job for Desire on the sales floor.
Considering those, which one do you think might be worth that amount? Probably, yep.
These ones.
I think that's right. She's smart, committed. She has plans for her future, dreams.
Anita Whitfield admits Desire is working in the right place. At a consignment store, they see value in that which may have been overlooked.
I have found in having young folks work here that not only have we as a society often overlook their value, but they often miss the value, their own self-worth.
So what has Desire learned in all of this? What advice would she give to someone who's run into obstacles?
I would tell them to not give up and to probably step out of their comfort zone a little.
What's Desire's story all about?
I am from dreams and aspirations. I am from a fairy tale that I never believed would be a reality. Hoping one day I would wake up from a dream and it would be my reality.
Not every poem has to rhyme.
No, it doesn't. Unlike my life situation, it all didn't make sense at first. And so it's a story that I can tell, and it makes a lot of sense at the end of the journey.
And Desire Lyons is just getting started. I'm John Yeager for King County at your service.